is you're looking at the cannabis industry, all those people that was hyped and got in there and started investing. Is the cannabis industry in a dip or is it dead? What you think, Rachel?
Definitely in a dip, and not so much even a dip, as if COVID had not happened, the industry trends would have kind of flatlined, right? We would have kind of stayed the same as we were in 2019. We enjoyed this time during COVID where people, there's not so much to do. We're all consuming a lot more cannabis or dealing with things in nature where the cannabis pairing is more natural and people weren't hanging out in bars. And so I definitely think we're in a dip, but I don't think it's still falling. I think we're leveling out and we're seeing what it looks like um, when a mature market becomes this saturated. And I do think that it's in the process of correcting.
What do you think, Tim?
I think you should buy the dip.
Buy the dip.
I
Okay.
mean, you're looking at the beginning of the end of federal prohibition right now when Joe Biden comes out and publicly announces the release of 6,500 federal prisoners who are spending time in jail as a result of simple cannabis possession. The next step is going to be banking. The next step is going to be rescheduling or descheduling. And the next step is federal legalization or the federal government stepping back and letting the states run their programs. In any scenario, this is the dip, and I think we're headed up from here. This announcement came right before the markets closed, and all the cannabis stocks just jumped right at the end of the day today, and I'm excited to see what tomorrow looks like.
I missed that.
Right, it's going to be
Missed that
there.
one.
It's there. It's there. I looked at it right before we walked in here, and everyone I looked at,
Which
all on the way up. So, yeah, get your orders in early
get
tomorrow.
your orders. Okay. So now you're looking at, when do you think this is going to happen? You think President Biden is going to do it during his term or his first term, or what do you think is going to happen?
I hope it's before the midterm elections here.
What?
I think
Oh,
you're seeing this
you
announcement.
think that we're going to be legalized federally by the midterm elections?
Oh, I'm an eternal optimist, Prince.
Yes,
I
yes.
would love to see that. I know this beast moves slower than that, but the people living in this country do not, and people are ready for this change. People are over the federal government being so behind the ball on this particular topic. This is something people have been waiting for a long time. This has penalized families, it's torn families apart, it's separated moms, dads, children over a plant that literally grows out of the ground that people like to inhale and it makes them feel better. There is nothing wrong with that being legal. These are adults we're talking about in a highly regulated environment. If you've never shopped in a cannabis store, it's not like shopping for alcohol. You're not allowed to bring your child into the store. Your ID is checked a minimum of 2 times. Your products leave in all child-proof containers with appropriate warnings on them. Like this is different. If these same rules were applied to alcohol, it would be a shock for people who just thought they were swinging in to buy a bottle of wine with their kid in tow. Like it would radically change the other substance that I believe is probably a Schedule One drug with no medicinal use or ability to, a high tendency towards addiction, and that is alcohol. Cannabis is a far superior product in my mind and treated like an underdog at this point. And I think you're going to see that cannabis rises to the occasion and becomes a large industry like alcohol. And better regulated than alcohol just because it's newer and people have different standards for the safety that they want around a product like that. And that's what Colorado has done and that's what the nation is moving towards. And I think it's going to be reality very soon, sooner than people think, and inside of 5 years, I hope.
Okay. So what do you think, Rachel? Are you as optimistic as next month?
Uh, I struggle to be as optimistic as Tim, but we have been talking about this for 4 or 5 years, and every month we've said it's coming soon. I do think that around the midterms, maybe just after the midterms, I think there'll be further movement. And I don't know what that will look like. And I think it's still going to be a lot longer than I want for the deschedulization. Like that just needs to happen. Yeah, I'm not quite as optimistic, but man, in the next 5 years, full legalization would be amazing. And it would be like at least 5 years too late.
I think that this midterm election, I think we're going to see some more red coming along.
Mm.
And I think that once we see, maybe I don't think it's going to be like a red flood or whatever. I think it's going to see some more red states start to take over, and I think that that's going to slow down the process. That's why I think it probably takes another tour, maybe another term. That's why I'm a little bit more. I'm optimistic. I know it's going to happen, but like Tim saying, a couple weeks, that's that would be. I don't know. I would be shocked. I
Some
would
of
be
these red
shocked.
states are creeping right there with us. There's a shocking number of red states in the last few years, up to and including this year, with medical and even recreational on the ballot. So it's starting to become an issue that's not as partisan as people think.
Okay.